Ah, hello. Well, I can hear myself. That's a good sign. Um, yeah, I have never streamed this early before. But I'm going to be busy this evening and I'm bored now. So I will happen to be looking through the Riven achievement list. It turns out I'm only missing 6 achievements, and they seem pretty easy to finish. And I rarely complete achievements in any game. But yeah, these are pretty easy to get, they seem like. So it involves just looking at a couple of things that I just didn't, like, I forgot to look at. And it's some of the bad endings we can look at. So might as well record it. We can look at them together. One of the achievements happens to be looking at this contraption for 15 minutes, which is hilarious on a couple levels. We'll get to that, but it's the perfect time. I'm just here staring at this in the game, and I can run my mouth about things that ultimately don't matter. So it's perfect timing all around. I really hope I'm looking at it like it knows that I'm looking at it. Where's my... Okay, I will watch my achievement list. I have a timer going. It says I have 10 minutes left to look at it, so we'll keep an eye on it. Anyway, yeah, so I guess final thoughts. I've had 2 days to think about it. One day halfway through, one day we finished it. So what are final thoughts? Not really a review, just kind of me throwing out, like, do I recommend this version? Yes. Obviously, yes. What I'm gonna say, you need to play the old version first. I'm not dumb enough to suggest people play the old version first in 2024, especially now that this exists. So, yes. Obviously, if you want to play Riven, I would recommend this. It's very difficult to get the old version even running, even with the scum VM thing that it runs in now. So yes, you'll benefit from playing this. But I will say, if you do play this and you love it, maybe if you're like, oh, I liked it, but no, if you loved it, then you should definitely play the old one, because you'll appreciate the differences. And I think the old one's superior, and it does take a little bit of work to get working, and some people just aren't going to do that, and I won't suggest people do that. So, but if you are at all interested in playing the old Riven, you should definitely buy it sooner rather than later, because Cyan has become one of those companies that tends to delist their old versions of games. You can no longer get the original Myst. You can no longer get the original Real Myst. You can only get Myst Masterpiece and Real Myst Masterpiece, and they both have their own pros and cons. Can you decide to get the old ones and make the decision yourself? Nope, they're gonna cut you off at the pass. You can only play the sanctioned version, and that's... So before they do that to the old Riven, you should buy it. Yeah. So hopefully they'll keep it around, because they seem to keep the old point and click around along with a 3D version. So, who knows? Overall, the changes are nice. Just, to me, they're just nice. They weren't terrible. I hesitate to say the game's better, but they're fine. Incorporating the fissure into how Riven is breaking down was a nice touch. I liked that. The little dome changes And the little pocket dimension is kind of weird, but cool. And I think all of those changes, specifically with the fissure, make sense with the world as it was. So it's fine. The other changes didn't really move me one way or the other. Like, all right, they got rid of the eyeball sound little game thing where you have to hunt the animals, relate the animals to their sound so you can figure out, you know. They got rid of that. They replaced it with the totems, which is okay. Like I said, whichever way, I'll just, obviously I prefer the old way just because it's what I've always had. But the new way's fine. It didn't bother me. It was good. But there are some changes that I don't like, and they've kind of moved around. Some of like the less important ones have been pushed off the list. I think as far as the game goes, simplifying the big golden dome waffle iron puzzle where you're putting the colored marbles on the grid, that was, I think, overly simplified, and it doesn't feel like it was for accommodating VR very much. So I'm not sure why you would change that much, if that makes any sense. It feels like it was changed just to change. As Myst VR, a lot of the changes were specifically for VR. In this, a lot of them were obviously just for VR, but that one just felt like change because. I think the biggest contributing factor to that is they just yoinked out parts of the survey island. They're just gone. And in turn, that kind of undercut the difficulty of the whole dome thing. So I think it would have been cool to keep the topography projection grid thing. I would have liked to have seen that in 3D, just because I've always thought that was a neat little tool to see, and it made a really cool noise. I'm pulling this to make sure the wheel keeps spinning. Time gate. So yeah, it's like I keep trying to explain it a different way each time. The like needle projection thing. It's like that hand impression toy thing where you push your hand into like a bed of like nails or needles or something, and then it leaves an impression of your hand behind the glass. Is kind of like that. But you were getting a topographical impression of the island terrain, and you would be looking for the little marble dome on the map in this big grid of islands, so you could put the marbles in the right spot. I thought it was cool. It was so good. It's gone. Okay, well, the other really big change, well, not, yeah, I guess it's kind of a big change. I don't know. Putting the game on rails is disappointing. Like, they stole the submarine at the beginning of the village. Normally, you can walk right into the village. Nope. Take the submarine, so you have to go to the Book Island first, which you are supposed to do. I mean, you're supposed to go to the Book Island first, but it just stops exploring. They also break the bridge to the Book Island, so you can't, like, there were a lot of back doors into places. You go around in different directions. And then the Wark Mouth that caught me. Yeah, you can't open the Wark Mouth from the outside now, just because we don't want you going this way anymore. Like, what difference does it make? Who cares? So forcing you into kind of a single path like that is pretty anti-Myst philosophy, where they just, like, here's a world, go get lost looking around and exploring and taking notes and taking pictures, and then you have the moments of like, I've seen this before over there, and it's just, exploration. That's part of what Myst was. I just got the achievement for the 15 minutes watch the fire marble polisher, so I can let that spin down and we don't have to hear the wheel rolling and rolling and rolling. Also, the shorter maglev rides are disappointing. I'll keep hammering on that because that was breathtaking in 1997. Granted, that video, that kind of like full frame video stuff was pretty unheard of at the time. So that in and of itself was pretty epic. And then the fact that it was just such a crazy ride was also just iconic. If the Myst VR big change was getting rid of the dentist chair in the planetarium, I'd say the iconic change here is they messed up the maglev rides. Like move the islands farther apart geographically so we have a longer ride, and crank up the speed a notch because the thing's supposed to be kind of a roller coaster, and I don't care if it's so you don't get sick in VR. Slow it down for VR and give us the roller coaster. It's games can present options for people to toggle on and off, and maybe you should look into that. But to me, I'm gonna just head out here and kind of just look at the, because I like Book Island. It's atmospheric, very pretty, very blue. That's kind of one. I'll show you. We'll get to it. But I think to me, so this is just me personally. This isn't going to apply to a lot of people. Oh, that's my timer. We've been watching for 15 minutes. The worst change to me has the least impact on the game, at least as far as gameplay. And it would have been perfectly easy to leave them out. You could probably, if you know me at all, which, I mean, you probably don't, but, you know, if you know me at all, you know where I'm going with this. The two hologram recordings in Gin's room on 233rd Age. I've thought about it. I won't get deep into it, because like I said, frankly, it doesn't matter to anybody playing who's coming into the game now after Uru Myst Online, which is going to be most people. It's going to be, there are more people after that are coming in to play this than before, so, you know, it only matters to me for people who have, like, connected to the world, the first two games and the novels, like, before even Myst 3 and before Uru was even an idea. So, suffice it to say, the footage of Gin's father, which, by the way, I won't use the name Atris, because the Atris we know is Catherine's husband and, you know, Sirius and Akinar's dad, but Gin's father was also named Atris. So the Atris we know is named after his grandfather, so I'll just say Gin's father, not at all like it would have been if he was based on the novels, which I'm not surprised, but the novels are what I go for, so I'm going to compare him to the novels. The Dunny are, like, described as, well, you know, they live underground, so they're, like, pale, and their eyes are weak, and they live a long time. Fun fact, by the way, Gin and Atris, I don't actually remember if they were wearing them in this game, but definitely part of their costume in the original game is they have goggles, and they wear the goggles because they're sunglasses. and the sun really hurts their eyes because they are part Dunny, and Dunny don't have very good eyes because they live underground. So there's some back lore for you. Anyway, Gin's father was implied to be older compared to humans just because he's Dunny, but also just older in general. So to have him suddenly be really super young like that in the imager is quite jarring based on the mental image we've had of like the whole time. And I looked it up. I actually looked it up because I'm like, where did I get the idea that the picture of the old guy in Gin's wall was his father? And it turns out it's like a little side lore snippet thing. I think it's printed in the soundtrack, and maybe the From Mist to Riven, like coffee book making of Riven kind of book thing they did. But it's a thing. It's kind of a side lore. It wasn't in the game, but it's definitely a thing. That is Gin's father. And if you were working on Riven, you made Riven, you're making a new Riven. You know that, right? You knew that, right? So that was a bit, that was, when I was watching that, I'm like, this is odd. And also, the accent is not a Dunny accent by a long shot. So we know what Dunny sounds like. Now, all the Riven natives, they'll speak it every now and then, but they speak it badly. Like even Catherine says, they don't. I barely even knew that you were speaking Dunny. But Gin is a native speaker because he was schooled in Dunny before the collapse, and we hear him speaking Dunny in the Riven School hologram imager thingy, right? And that's not the same accent. Granted, he's what's the word? Not pronouncing, enunciating the words. He's doing it slow and deliberate because he's trying to teach everyone else also how to speak Dunny. So that's why it's kind of like slow and forced. But that it's not like even remotely the same accent. Like not even a little bit. Like what was that? I don't know. It was just jarring. And if you look at a list of Dunny words, it's just the structure of the words and the sounds that you make to make those words just they don't go with that accent, I don't think. So it was just weird. But I don't nobody is gonna think about this stuff except me. But at this point, I mean, this is all I have to offer. I'm the super nerd from the original Riven, so this is the stuff I noticed. As for Anna, which is Gin's mother, which he has disowned, so that's why her name is just written as Anna. Somehow I think they did her even worse, because in the novels, she comes across as a way stronger character. I don't know why they committed so hard to having her blame herself for Dunny getting wiped out like that. That was weird. So again, in the novels, and some of this overlaps with Mystery Live, whatever. You know that game has like 5 titles, and I'm trying to call it Uru Mist Online. Okay. But in the novels, Dunny was divided into a kind of a caste system. So you had the super upper class who could enlist in the guilds. They were rich. They owned personal ages. They had all the fancy toys. And then you had the lower class, who they had libraries of like publicly accessible, like shared worlds, which is really funny to think about. That, oh, the rich people had their own ages, but all those poor people, they have to share libraries of worlds to visit. Like, even to us, that's just like, That's cool. But yeah, that was how they were set, and they couldn't join guilds. And we're talking guilds like the fancy ones, like the Writers Guild, who learn how to make ages, and then the Bookmakers Guild, they learn how to make books, and then the Surveyors Guild, they go to a new age and map it out, and there's a Maintainers Guild, which they make sure the ages are stable and safe, and there's all kinds of guilds. And the Dunny had a council. And they, at least according to the novels, they were already kind of on the road to changing the rules so everyone could join the guilds and not be so class restricted. But they weren't quite there yet. And then Anna gets involved and kind of, there's a chapter, does a speech thing, she gets involved and kind of helps push the council, gives them the last push to, change the rules. Rules are changed. And there was a guy, there's some backstory there, but we'll just skip over it if you want to know more about the details, which maybe I should read this again too, because I'm sure I'm misremembering things, but I don't know. This is what I remember now. It's the Book of Tiana, actually, which is Anna's name when she was, I don't know, naturalized into Dunny, whatever you want to call that. They gave her a new name when she moved into Dunny. So Anna became Tiana. Book of Tiana is that story. All right? Okay. It's probably out of print. Good luck finding it. So after that happened, there was a ruling class guy named Veavis who kind of took offense to the whole thing, losing power, and we can't let the commoners, blah, blah, blah. This is going to ruin everything. He joined forces with essentially a terrorist named Agaris, and after a bunch of stuff, they kind of get backed into a corner and basically decide, you know what, screw it, we're gassing the place, and they unleash a plague on the city. Dunny is wiped out. It kind of escalates super quickly. That's what happens, though. Gen's father sacrifices himself to stop them. Anna and Gen escape to the surface, where she's from. My point being, even then, Anna knew it wasn't her fault. Right? I mean, maybe I'm misremembering some specific dialogue in the books that they're really choosing to amplify in the imager. But, I've always had the impression she knew pretty darn well it wasn't her fault, like, at all. And, of course, Veavis and Agaris blamed her because they're the outsider causing unrest. But, yeah, Dunny would have done it eventually. Like, they were already the council was kind of mostly there already, at least based on the books. So the rampage would have happened either way, but oh well. Like I said, novel lore. Anyone coming into the game now after Uru Mist Online will have different ideas, and honestly, the Uru Mist Online debacle kind of taught me to just walk away from stuff like this. Don't make a big deal about it. Nobody cares. It's not important. But it's my stream, and here's what I feel about this game. And they sneaking in some little lore bits that have bigger ramifications than I think they thought of. Yeah. So I'll just, I'll take what I like and kind of ignore the rest. And that's what, I know I'm kind of the minority, but I'll just shrug and whatever. What what is ironic though, in some sort of like poetic kind of twisted way I've alluded to before. Oh, the sound stopped. Okay. Don't know what happened there. Uru Miss Online was quite divisive to the fandom when it was being worked on. So it boils down to the people who liked the changes could not stand the people who did not like the changes, and vice versa. The people who did not like the changes also couldn't stand the people who did like the changes. So the people who didn't like it ended up leaving the fandom. And apparently, the people who did like the changes have, well, they've stuck around for long enough to be, straight up hired by Cyan, it looks like. I didn't mention it in the moment, but yeah, I recognized a couple names in the credits. And it turns out, if you're one of the most insufferable, degrading, toxic, self-absorbed fans who found joy in splitting the fandom in half by running off whoever didn't worship Uru Mist Online, well, 20 years later, you get to work a dream job and remake Riven, I guess. Clearly, I'm doing something wrong with my life, so maybe I should rethink my strategy. Yeah. What's that? That Dr. Doofenshmirtz meme? Like, if I had a nickel. If I had a nickel, every time this happened, I would have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's, weird it's happened twice. So yeah, there's that. It's just, not to get into it, but, you know, every now and then I kind of, let's just say, based on their official Discord, I'm not surprised. Anyway, that's a story for, never. So, ironically, though, I liked the fissure changes. I did like that change. I feel like that's a good example of changes that are compatible with, like, what we've already got. So it takes the foundation and builds up on it, instead of warping the foundation to fit whatever whim they've come up with. Like, oh, it'd be cool if this happened, but we need to get rid of that, so we might as well get rid of that and just say, oh, we had it wrong the first time. Whatever. So there we go. To recap, that kind of got dangerously depressing, but so overall it is great. For me, Mist lore is always like a highly charged topic. But that's just literally for me personally. Nobody else is gonna have that problem. So it's fine. There's nothing that's actually all that damaging, I guess, for people coming in now to see all this right here, the Riven the way it is here, because you'll get basically the same experience, which is good. But again, highly recommend playing the original because it is different, and you'll probably like. If you love this game enough and you put the effort into playing the old one, you'll probably appreciate the original too. I have not like talked. I haven't streamed for like 7 months, so I'm getting used to like talking again. It's weird. I don't talk. I live by myself. Work doesn't need me to talk. I only talk to people on the weekends. It's kind of weird now I think about it. Yeah. And again, a reminder, please, if you Cyan delists old games. So, for literally no reason. So if you want to play the old version, get it now. Is that everything? I do have some, like, notes. behind the scenes, I do have like bullet point notes things, but I do kind of go off the rails at times. The achievements. We got the Watcher, which is, oh yeah, I was gonna say, now that we're done, all right, here's why that achievement is hilarious. All right, the Watcher is an achievement for Watch the Fire Marble Polisher for 15 minutes in a single playthrough. That is hilarious because I think I've played Myst Online, right? The single player version of Myst Online, but it is a hilarious callback to that one particular disaster of a puzzle in the Path of the Shell expansion where you stand in a light, perfectly motionless, hands off the controller, for 15 minutes before the door unlocks. And that's the sort of puzzle you get in an online MMO puzzle game that has to rapidly churn out entire worlds to play. And yeah, I can't imagine why that game didn't last. So we need... there's a achievement for the guy at the beginning of the game. Sees you in the cage, takes your book, gets darted. He is dragged off to the side and, like, not really dropped, but, like, just, he's down over the ledge. So you have to look down at him to get that achievement. He's not there. He'll get up and walk away over time. So you have to do it pretty early. Remember from the journals, Gin talks about, like, the moiety frog toxin stuff they make, but, whoops, smacked the microphone. Catherine said the moiety and the Gin worshippers, they still live together because they still like each other. They're not killing each other, so he gets up. He's not dead. He's not killed. He gets up and walks away. So you have to look for him before he does that. I have a save right at the start of the game that I can just load and get that real quick. You have to look at all the gate room images, which I'm pretty sure I looked at 3. If I looked at all 5, you get an achievement. So missed that. And then the rest are just the different bad endings. There's an ending where after you trap Gan, you use the trap book to free him. And he's like, I don't know what would possess you to do what you just did, but thank you. You have to go away now. So that's an achievement. There's an achievement for you keep going back to the office. When he's like, perhaps it would be best if you went through first, is the exact line. And if you just never do that, he eventually just kills you. So that's an achievement. And then if you trap Gen and do not free Catherine and summon Atris, that is another achievement ending, which we will all do. There's another ending, right? Because I specifically remember Gen coming down and shooting Atris. So there's clearly an ending where you summon Atris, you have not trapped Gen. Gen shows up, shoots Atris, shoots you, and is like, haha, you complete idiot. And that'll be it. And we could probably knock that out in the next half hour, so we'll see how far I get. Funny enough, by the way, speaking of Gin shooting people, his gun is fire marble powered. So not only do they cast light, they also explode with enough force to propel a projectile. So I think we can just do the free Gin thing right here and get that over with. Nope, we can't. Catherine has the book. So do I have to reload now? Let's go look at the gate room images. You know what? Oh, that railing is bent from where he threw the oven over the edge. So that's kind of funny. How shall we proceed? I think this is my, like, test save. Let's do that. We'll look at Cho. That's the guy's name. Only because that's the first word he says to you. He looks in the cage and he's like, Cho? So, not his name. Why would he say his name? But an expression of surprise. So, person up there is going to leave in a second. There he is. Achievement unlocked. Bye-bye. I have a surprise. And now that I say that, I don't want to disappoint you. What I did was, I thought about playing the original Riven up to the point of riding the maglev, so we can compare the two. I did one better. There is a ye-old tool called Reveal, written way back in the day. Like reveal, the word reveal, only riv, like Riven, Reveal. It will extract all of the screenshots, the QuickTime movies, the sounds, everything from the old slideshow Riven. And I have the video of the maglev ride that I can play through OBS. So we're supposed to, it says the achievement may not pop until you've looked at them all, each one, 10 seconds. So I'm going to set a stopwatch because I don't want an alarm going off every 10 seconds. But yeah. Behold again, supposedly defeating Atreus, throwing him into the abyss. That has been 10 seconds. Behold, Gen and his guild masters learning the art of creating books. The tree goes in the chomper, the pulp spits out, you've got the boiler, you've got the heat, you've got... Yeah. I think that was 10 seconds. Gen creating his worlds as he would a god. With his beetle jar, his frog juice smoke pipe, all his necessities. This is technically the first one where he comes out of the book and they're like, oh my gosh, he's a god. And Gen being Gen is like, you know what? I am a god. And the rest is history. This is like his government structure. So he oversees, this is sort of a ruined Dunny structure. Normally it was the council were the guild masters, but Gen is over the guild masters in the guild. They've got a surveyor guild, they got education, they've got war, they've got, you know, everything and stuff, paper making. The end? Nope. Yeah, so that achievement did not happen. What did the alt-tabbing? I was looking at a guide because I hate hidden achievements. I get hiding them for spoilers, but let me click so I can read when I'm done and when I want to. Visual history. Look inside the 5 golden beetles. Peek for at least 10 seconds. If the achievement does not trigger, try to look longer inside each beetle. Shall we look for 30 seconds? Hello. How are you? There's really not a whole lot going on here. I'm just kind of wrapping up achievements before I am busy this evening. So, such riveting entertainment as staring at motifs for multiple seconds. That is 30 seconds. Oh, we got it. Okay. That's done. We looked at Cho. We got the Watcher. All we have now are the bad endings. Oh, before I leave the island, nope, I can't. I need a load because this is all sealed up. That's the save before we went to Gin the first time, so we'll use that to like not give him the book. I think we don't have a save with him trapped. There's this one, but it was saved 8 minutes before this one, and I know this one doesn't have the book. But we'll try it. We'll see. But I'm pretty sure we've like already met Catherine at this point. So it's fine to talk to Gin first, and then he gives you the book to be like, you should go first. And then you like hesitate. And then he's like, I understand you need to consider what I'm saying, so I'll let you leave. But basically, don't come back unless you're ready to do business, so to speak. So this is that save right before we go in. So we'll listen to his speech. We'll see what he does when we don't touch the book right away. We'll leave. I'll save it there, and then we can proceed. Boop. Which, oh no, what a shame. We have to hear Gin's great dialogue. That was sarcasm, by the way. Gin, what was his name? The guy who played Gin? Amazing. Wow, you just slammed your face into the door, okay? Yeah, see, he's got the goggles here.
I apologize for the cage. I'm afraid this situation has often required of me
But
a
it's even
more
like...
primitive code of conduct than
It's
I might
sunset
otherwise
out
have
there,
chosen.
right? So normal people don't
I
need
am
sunglasses at
I assume
sunset,
you've heard
but
of me.
he still needs to wear it
Yes.
because he's
Well, I
dunny and
suspect you
his
have
eyes
acquired
are
some
not
false
used to sunlight.
information of who I am now. Not that my son would have lied to you about me. No, not Atris. It's just that, well, I'm sure he believes me to still be the depraved father I once was.
I totally
Yes.
believe you.
I even tried to kill him once. God, if I had accomplished that, who knows what I would have become. A great father indeed, who tries to murder his own son. Thankfully, he trapped me on age 5, a prison of my own creation. No books, no precious inks, no ages to link to, nothing but my own foolish ambitions.
I
That
believe
was 30 years ago.
it's possible
30
to
years, 30 lifetimes,
get
what does it
into
matter?
his
No
office
sentence could be
before
too harsh
you
for
get
the man I was.
the prison book, right?
But I have changed.
I forget exactly what that dialogue is, though. If you, like, show up,
Be sure the
he
deeds
does
of
this
my
speech,
past
but then
can
he's
never be
like,
completely atoned for.
the
But
moiety
my
have the...
mission
We don't
was an
have the
honorable
book.
one.
The book was stolen. You go find it. I'm trying to step through the
I'm
logic
sorry,
to
this
see if
is
that was possible.
all a bit awkward. It's been a long time since I've attempted to persuade anyone of my intentions. Most of the people here have already made their minds up about me one way or another. I myself do not trust the words of most men, so I don't expect you to believe me. In the end, though, you may discover that I do have more than mere words to offer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can do, like, all the domes and the colors and everything
Atris's choice of
completely
punishment has been
separate of
hard on the
Catherine's
people of
stuff.
Riven. Many have suffered because of it. The island has been steadily decaying for years. But according to my most recent measurements, it appears that the 5th age has entered its final days.
Right.
Unless the villagers can be relocated soon, the island will collapse entirely and everyone will perish. It has taken me a long time to do it, but it appears that finally I'll be able to make some substantial amends to my past transgressions, especially in... Well, I'm afraid I've had some trouble with Catherine and the moiety. In any society, there will always be a small percentage of the population with rebellious tendencies. Before Catherine appeared, the moiety, as they call themselves, had been relatively harmless. I mean, the natives here are a fairly violent people by nature, but I'd almost come to accept their presence. Upon Catherine's return, however, their violence intensified considerably. It seems she's become some sort of religious savior to them. As far as I can tell, she's come to believe this herself. So I've had
You
no
were on the right
alternative.
track until that
I
moment.
had to separate her from her people. The actions of Catherine and the moiety have put my own life at risk on numerous occasions. Consequently, the lives of all the people here. Therefore, I must ask you to refrain from any attempt to free her. Although I'm sure Atris desires it. Indeed, he must desire it with all his heart.
You know what?
But he is completely unaware of her recent state.
The achievement is to trap Gin
Which brings me to the
and
point
then
of all
summon
this.
Atris.
The linking book you brought with you. You're very fortunate to have recovered
I
it.
wonder if you get the achievement when you summon
may.
Atris with Gen free.
Thank you.
Now I'm curious. Okay. We're about to, like, not touch this book. Because I find the ending where Gen just rampages down to the fissure and murders everybody to be more palatable than being like, hey, Atris, I saved you. By the way, I left your wife to die. Happy trails. So if I can get the achievement with that other ending, I would much prefer that. So I have the code for this game already for the fissure. I wonder if it works at this point. Because
Perhaps it would be best if you went through first.
Nope. I'm not doing it. You can't make me. Oh.
You may need some time to decide. That is reasonable. Please understand, there is nothing I want more than a chance to resolve matters between Atris and myself.
We can see the flyby this time.
Especially in light of what has become of Catherine. But unless you are willing to demonstrate to me that your intentions are honorable, I cannot risk it. The sanctuary I've been writing for the Islanders is nearly complete. After all these years, it would be a shame if I were unable to finish it.
But Catherine says your age is already falling apart.
The work I am doing is quite demanding. Please don't signal me unless you've decided to use the book.
Yeah. So he's like, all right. This is a lot for you to digest. Take your time. Don't come back until you are ready. So we're safe at this point. Oh, okay, thanks. Not allowed to save in here. Okay. Silly me. That will always irritate me in any game. I don't care who made it. And if, heaven forbid, I make a game that doesn't let you save in a certain spot, tell me to fix whatever it is about this that makes saves not work. And just let it happen. Okay. So we've lost the trap book. He's got it on his desk. Which, by the way, that desk that he put the trap book on, maybe we can go back when we go back. Excuse me. I'm choking. There is a particular like jar of liquid that in the original, when they were setting up the scene originally, it was in front of another jar of liquid, and that level of refraction calculation for the rendering of that scene was like destroying their servers. So they're like, this scene is taking forever to finish. Let's move the cup over a couple inches so it doesn't, like, it's not double refracting. and fix the scene. Because back then, that was enough to bring a system to its knees, and now we just do that. Do that in real time now, so... Technology. So... Pretty annoying. What's the best way to get back to the temple? Probably ride the log cart, right? See, normally, I think this is a shortcoming. Normally, he would return you to, I forget where exactly, now that I think of it. Oh, right, because in his room, he powers up the books. There's actually 5 books in there, and one goes to each of the little domes. So you could just pick which island you wanted to go back to and then turn around and go back in. But now it's like, no, you go to the lab in the middle of nowhere. Now you have to run all the way back to the Great Dome. By the way, we smashed that bridge, so you had to walk a certain direction, and now, figure out. I'm already getting distracted. We need to go out this way, down here. I think we'll look at the, when do we want to look at the, comparison between the two, maglev rides? Probably at the end, because we need to go to the fissure anyway. And we can ride backwards on this thing. It's pretty cool. So I think the vibes of this is pretty much the same. Like, this particular ride is the same as it was in the original game, which is nice. I think the pre-rendered video in the original game looked better. Like, the colors just look better. I remember the ocean being a lot prettier, but this is fine. We'll probably actually see a glimpse of the ocean with the tram video. It felt more like Caribbean tropical. The water was a lot brighter, a brighter blue. Like this, the Riven water here is pretty dark, so the water's deep. It was all pretty blue. Like it was all this color. Like the whole, all over. It was quite beautiful. It is a very pleasing shade of blue. One might almost say cyan blue, yes? Is it more detailed in the new version? Maybe? It's easy to look around and be like, yes, this looks fantastic. But I don't know. The level of detail you can put into just a screenshot, a still image for free is still pretty high. What they've done to the water is definitely way better. Where are we even? I'm trying to. We're I need to clear my mind of 97. We're going to the big gold dome to get his book. You're not going to the little dome. You're going to the big dome. Go to the big dome. Big dome. I'm gonna save here. Now I'll save. Problem is, with the saves, you can't name the saves. So I can't say, this is the one right before I do this. Nope, I just have to try to differentiate the screenshot. Oh, well. Okay. We saved. We can go back. Unless they changed it, we only need to do this once. He will immediately shoot us if we don't take it now. I certainly hope that we don't have to make the run back a second time. Okay, so that jar right there was in front of... Maybe it's not here. Maybe it was these two things. But it was that jar and another jar that were, like, overlapping in the shot.
Returned.
And
I
it
thought
was...
perhaps you had decided against it.
The render farm would not handle it. Where book? Their book. Okay.
Here. I shall follow you directly. Please. You're free to go. But I think you should not come back unless you're willing to use the book.
He's getting angry. Okay, so you wouldn't do this normally. But the fact that they got rid of the other books, so you can't just go to the dome you want to use to come back, it's making this achievement irritating. And we're walking back. Now we have to wait for the minecart to come back. Oh, that door. Okay. I don't know if the void is going to be any faster, is it? It might. Well, let's go that way. I'm just picturing myself cranking that little wheel for as much time as riding the maglev back. But you're probably right. Except I don't remember the eyeball symbol for this dome. Which one is it? We're on the Book Assembly Island. Purple, it is the line through the top. Vertical line. Got it! Again, in the old game, that symbol would be... You can use the mirror? What? I'm opening this back up. So see, in the old game, it was just gold. What? I'm totally fine for spoilers now because I finished the game already, but... Okay. Okay. Didn't think of using that, but... Like I said, I didn't have to memorize these in the old game because it was just... You could walk up to the dome and see which one it was. So... Okay, that's cool. That still doesn't help you in Prison Island. So if you rewind and imagine you're going to Prison Island for the first time, you don't have the magic thingy. You come out, the only time you've seen the symbol you need is inside the void. And if you forget, what then? What do you do then? Just trial and error? Yep, stay out. You're stuck. Welcome to prison. Ah, man, now I have to... Which ball is the temple? It's this circle with the dots. That one. I was getting ready to say, it would be nice if it... Did we ever... Thought change. Did we ever figure out what this is? This is just a thing. It still sounds like mist. Can we use the marble? Can we use this? No. The moiety had to paint stuff with it, right? Yeah. Anyway, can we, like, click on these things? It would be nice if you had... pre-programmed. But you have to use the handle. Okay. That would make it a lot less fiddly. Is the transition mechanism the same in the original Riven? No. Not even close. You're talking about the void inside the little domes? No. The little domes are the single biggest difference between the two games. I mean, they're still pretty cool, but I don't know if you saw this first, you would think that the old game was cool. Ah, dang it. The gates rotated again. I don't come from this direction very often, so I'm not sure which rotation this needs to be to get me out. I will say it was probably faster, though. So you know the book in the gold dome that we used to get to Gin's, to where Gin lives right now? Each little dome had a copy of one of those books in it. So anytime you wanted to go to see Gin, you could just open up one of the little domes and there was his book. So all the stuff around that is changed. I thought it was a lot faster once you unlocked the domes to like use his office as a fast travel, but I need to save so I don't screw it up. Don't tell me there's only 10 save slots. Why are you limiting the saves on a PC? I can delete this one. Look, I know that the game is built with VR in mind. And I know, well, consoles don't really have a limit on save slots these days. That's a 2000s thing. But I should be able to have literally unlimited saves on my own PC. Thank you very much. Aha, see his gun. He's not happy.
All right then, once more.
Once more with feeling.
The only path open to you now is through this book. Take it.
No. Oh, he mad.
You see, I have changed. There was a time when I might have let you live. I made that mistake with Atris once. It's a pity you decided not to give me a second chance. Well, there's still time.
Blech. Bad ending 1. No. Oh, please don't make me sit through this. No! We're not doing that. I will Alt F4 and reload the game before sitting through that. Yeah, it's we're doing achievements. So that was an achievement to get shot by not using his book. That is one bad ending. The next bad ending is we will load that game, use the book, and then once he's trapped, we free him. That is another achievement. And he's like, "Why? What possessed you to what?" It's a pretty good ending too. The dialogue they had to write for like, why what? Wait. Was this my save? That was an autosave, right? Right before I used the book? I'm confused which save this is. Okay, he has the gun, so...
All right then, once more. The only path open to you now is through this book.
I've changed! I totally believe you now! So, it's interesting that up until now, he still believes it's a real book. He just needed you there so he can kill you and Atris together. That's his idea. Go to Dunny, kill you, kill Atris, the end. What I'm not sure is if he knows even what a trap book is. Because that was a missed thing. I guess it'll depend on when Atris discovered that to make the trap books for Mist. Yeah, we have to keep this save alive. This one. Okay. Now we free him. There's another ending.
I don't know exactly why you released me, but you realize, of course, that this must be the end for you. It may provide you with some solace, however, to know that with this act of self-sacrifice, you have secured your place in history. The Dunny culture will be reborn, and the lives of millions will be purified. Thanks to you. Farewell.
No, don't make me sit through the titles again. Oh. No, I forgot. Alt F4. We got the achievement. Where's my Steam tab? There we go. Again, appear in the next Mists? No. I'm trying to think. Mist 3, certainly not. Mist 4, I don't think so. I never finished 4, but I'm pretty sure no. He might be mentioned in Mist 5, but again, I don't. He didn't appear. He might have been mentioned. So, this is, unfortunately, the end of Gen. Okay. So, we have one more achievement to get. According to the description, we have to... Oh, trap Gen. And not free Catherine. And summon Atris. But I am curious if the other ending counts, in that you can summon Atris now without trapping Gen. And Gen comes storming down to the fissure to kill everybody. So we shall try that. I have Catherine's code. The fissure should be, like, powered up. So we shall see if it counts, right? No book? Yeah, I've got the prison book. Let's see if I can do this correctly for once. 1. Reset them all to 1. We had 6. That is 6, 3, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9 maybe? Question mark? 9. 8. 3. 6 again. 1. 5. 7. Okay, we are in fact in business. Yeah, I've got to save right before this, so I think we're good. If I can work this thing. This is a very fiddly device. See, I don't feel bad about, like, totally just flubbing this the first time. Because it's just so fiddly. Okay, we got it. So Gin should be alive. Catherine's trapped. Atris is about to be very confused. Everybody dies. The end. Hi.
There isn't much time. Where's Catherine?
I'm here for an achievement.
The trap book is empty.
Yeah, there he is.
Understand?
You never did.
Father.
Father, I am no longer your father because you are no longer my son.
Blech. Wait a second. What book did you throw away? Oh, that was the trap book. I'm like, dude, that was the way out. Oh, okay. That was the trap book.
I don't know what you thought you were doing, but thank you. I finally am free.
Thank you. You're welcome. Wait, you were just fine with Gin leaving and you trapped you here on a dying world? Okay. So did that give me the achievement? It did. So that does count for that mixed signals achievement. So good. We don't have to see Atris being like, why did you do everything except rescue my wife? All right, restart one more time. Because we can finally go see the difference between the maglev. Been talking about it the whole time. The maglevs are different. They don't feel quite as epic. And I will now show you the difference. We can just pick any save at this point. Fingers crossed that OBS works. It's the first time I am doing a media source in OBS. And it kind of worked half the time. So all the videos in old Riven are QuickTime movies, as in ye old Apple QuickTime. So I had to convert it to an MP4 so it would even play in OBS. And we'll see how that goes. It worked in testing. It always goes bad in production. All right. So imagine, if you will, pay attention to everything. How fast we're going. Like the speed that we're traveling over the tops of these rails. How long it takes. Just absorb. Just absorb it. Absorb it all. It is very similar. But it will be different. Turn on skip animation. No! So we sort of slowly pull out and kind of just go through the rings, and then we're here. All right. And the door does not automatically open. That's not important, but remember, the door does not open yet. So now I'll see if I can play the actual clip. Riven's gonna stop. I tried to match the same kind of audio. This is the original. So you pull out very slowly, and then it hits the gas, man. Look. You fly off the tracks at one point. And then you pull into dock. So it's very close. And yet they've missed it completely, I feel. So, there, yeah. So that was what... And you have to imagine, this was 1997. Games did not have a video like that yet. This was one of the first times you ever saw something like that on a PC, and it was that roller coaster ride. So, I think they could do better with this. But, it's just me having played that game in 97 and over countless times, memorizing every detail. Oh, I meant to turn off. There's a skip animation stuff in here, isn't there? For VR. So I will try that. Unless you were talking about the zip animation in the old Riven, because there was fast, there were options for fast transitions in that game too, the old one. Interface, I think it's... Is it controls? Vehicle comfort advanced. Hide vehicle transitions. Do not show their animations while riding. Quick travel on ladders. That's definitely for VR. So see, they have some options. This changes comfort settings when moving in the maglev. Comfortable. We'll turn on hide vehicle options. Recommended will dirty up the windows and will narrow the FOV. And advanced will leave it as it is. So I have it on advanced. So it's just what it's supposed to be, which still isn't what it's supposed to be, but it's as close as it will ever be to what it's supposed to be. Yeah. Flip. What a... I think I broke it. The controls are reversed. Whatever option that was, it's broken my maglev. What? Oh, cyan. What is... I don't know what's going on. Okay, we can't do that. What? Okay. I give up. We broke it. We'll give it a couple patches. Maybe they'll, you know. All I did, the only thing I did was turn on hide vehicle transitions while I was in the seat already. And it put me back in the game with the controls reversed. Yeah, evidently not. Yeah, that wasn't in their testing. Let's see what recommended is. It says dirty the See, now it's fine, right? Yeah, so the lever is now toward me and you push it forward. We weren't crazy, right? It's now corrected itself. We all saw it. This must only affect VR because it changed nothing. And then it flips around. Hilarious. Yeah, okay, it's fine now. Maybe, did we all just collectively hallucinate that it broke? I'm weirded out now, man. Anyway, hide vehicle transitions off. Like, I thought it was already back where I could be going crazy. Look, I got maybe 3 hours of sleep last night. I could be hallucinating. All right. So I think that's it. We finished the game yesterday, and I realized there were 6 achievements we didn't get, so now we got them. I wanted to show the video of the old maglev, just for the record, and we're done. I think this is the only second game I've perfected. Nope, I lied. It's the 3rd game I've perfected. On Steam, anyway. I perfected Adventure Capitalist, the cookie clicker game. Because at one point I was running that for a while, and I decided to get all the achievements in it. All the achievements in No Man's Sky. And now, Riven. Didn't get all the achievements because of a bug. That sucks. Which one did you not get? Which one could possibly be bugged? I guess there's a few. Oh, the blobby thing, the little the fissure thingy that they put metal around later on. Weird. Yeah, that might be, yeah. I could see that. It could also be, a few of these are time, I realize you can't see my overlay. I'm scrolling the achievements. One of them is to look into all the beetle windows in the temple. That one is weird. They're like, you need to look for 10 seconds. I had to look for 30 seconds. So maybe you just had to really deep stare into the fissure, little fissure bubble thing. Cause that's what I did. I was like entranced for like a minute looking into it, so. So yeah. There are triangles down there. Well, at this point, I'm done. I think, sadly, I am going to end the stream. I just wanted some early morning stuff to get this done because I am busy this evening. But yeah. But curious little baubles. I shall leave with this iconic screenshot of the great Temple of Riven. And, yeah. For once, I have nothing more to say, so I'll head off now. Thanks to everybody who stopped by for this little stream, just wrapping up achievements and all the odds and ends we didn't manage to catch the first time. Yep, that's it. All right. I'll see you later. Whenever. I don't really have a schedule. I'll just be back when I'm back. I'm kind of more of a hobbyist streamer than a scheduled streamer, so whatever. Not great for growth, but good enough for me. All right. I'll see you later. Thanks. Bye.